how is Rob going to be able to juggle Parks and Rec and 2.5 Men next season? What is the scheduling going to be like?
It's gonna be hard, I'm not gonna lie. No, this is very silly, and there's no truth to that weird rumor that occurred the other day. Rob is a full-time cast member on the show, and before you guys think you're onto like a scandal, he's looking at colleges with his kids on the East Coast. That's why he's not here tonight, unfortunately. He's a full-time cast member of the show. He has a very long, multi-year contract. This was a case of someone tossing a name up in the air, and then the internet lit a match and set itself on fire. And now here we are, so anyway.
All right, well, with that out of the way, I loved this episode, Harvest Festival, and one of the things I loved about it is I feel like it's what your show does best. It lampoons small-town America, but also shows so much affection for it. I imagine that's sort of a tricky balancing act that you guys have to pull off week in and week out.
Yep. Yeah, no, I think that's the essence of the show, is that the show is not trying to make fun of anything, really. It's, except in this case, maybe the media, appropriately, the media. But no, the idea for Little Sebastian had come up in a completely different context a long time before we did this, and we just liked the idea that there was I think small or medium-sized towns often have heroes, and very often that hero is not a human being. It's like, the bulldog that's like the mascot of the high school football team or something. And so we came up with this idea for this horse, and then this was the perfect place to kind of debut it. And I think that my favorite moment I think we've ever shot is Offerman laughing giddily at Little Sebastian when he walked in. It's this crazy, insane, high-pitched, it's like the first time Ron has ever lost his cool. And that was the idea, was like, this is not a joke. These people really care about this much, and I think that's what makes the town kind of nice and like a fun place to live. And I think it's the reason that, for example, despite Ben not really getting it with Little Sebastian, over the course of the year, he's beginning to kind of see the town as like a really nice place to live.
So talk to me about the conception of the show. Originally, was it sort of going to be an Office spin-off, and then it sort of evolved into something else?
Is this just you and me talking?
Yeah.
Everyone else take off? Well, do you want to go through the history? A little brief history?
Yeah, there was a desire to do an Office spin-off. And when we sat down to come up with ideas for the show, some of them were Office spin-offs. But then we came up with this idea, and Amy became available and liked this idea, and we said we should do this and not do an Office spin-off.
And from the beginning, it was sort of NBC had just said, we just want you to create a show, and an Office spinoff was one possibility, but they never,
Right.
They just sort of said whatever you guys, it's it'll never happen again in the history of television. They just literally said whatever idea you guys want to do, and this is what we wanted to do, so.
And it also had it was also unusual because we didn't go through any pilot process. We shot the pilot, and then the next week we shot episode 2 and 3, and the whole first season was shot really before the pilot was edited or anything.
Yeah.
So it was like our whole first season was like our pilot, kind of.
And Amy, do you have any inspirations for Leslie?
Yeah, I think she's kind of like, she's kind of part Girl Scout, part pioneer. She's got a very suffragette spirit, I think, but zero game.
And the suffragettes had crazy game.
What's that? Yeah. And personally, my game is fucking tight. But that's his game.